All rise. Court is back in session. Judge Eisenhower presided.
All right, thank you. Everyone can have a seat. All right, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name is Darrell Eisenhower. I'm the county judge here in St. Lucie County assigned to this case. If I could please have all the participants introduce themselves.
Tyler Reed, State Attorney 1.
Dane Burnett, State Attorney number 2.
Christina Tirado, State Attorney number 3.
Vanessa Fisher, Defense Attorney number 1.
James Whalen, Defense Attorney number 2.
Mads Polanco, Attorney number 3.
Hernandez, State Attorney number 1, replacement.
Allison Kelly, State Attorney backup 2. Juliana Fasagleonitis, State Attorney number 3 backup.
Alexis Emmanuel Fallon, Defense Attorney number 2, backup and bailiff.
Ashwin Dar, State Attorney Defense, backup number 3.
Kayla Curry, Dakota West. Hannah Beck, Reese William. Judah White, Casey Ross.
Jeriah Knight, Bailey Kelvin. Ryan Wilhelm, Tyler Banks.
Sarah Goulet.
Jessica Goodyear.
Carrie Dyer. Jacob Eichmann. Philip Thornton.
Sebastian Ramos.
Isaac Carlo.
All right, well, thank you all for being here today. We have a trial this afternoon. I'm now going to ask each side to make their opening statements. Who's giving the opening statement for the state?
Thank you, Your Honor. Dear ladies and gentlemen of the jury, we've been brought here today to recognize why Dakota Ross is missing $3,200 from her bank account between the days of June 17th to July 31st. The defendant committed an unlawful possession of a stolen debit or credit card. This violates Florida statutes 817.60 by knowingly receiving or retaining custody of a credit or debit card that has been taken from the possession or custody of the cardholder without the cardholder's consent, with the intent to obstruct the recovery of the stolen debit or credit card. The holder commits an unlawful possession of the stolen debit or credit card, and the cardholder being in this case Dakota Ross. We will prove to you, the jury, that it was in fact Tyler Banks who took the money. During our case, we will present to you evidence through witnesses, testimonies, and exhibits. At the end, you, the jury, will be asked to issue a verdict and hold Tyler Banks guilty of stealing the money on Dakota Ross's credit card. Thank you.
Thank you. Defense?
Thank you, Your Honor. Dear ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the evidence you will be shown today will prove that the defendant, Tyler Banks, did not steal from the plaintiff, Dakota Ross. You will see that Tyler Banks worked hard for the money he earned. He did numerous jobs over the summer that a witness will confirm, and he is being recklessly blamed for something that he did not do. Dakota Ross claimed that she had lost $3,200. However, the money was not stolen by Tyler Banks. Multiple people had access to Dakota Ross's debit card and even knew the PIN number, including the housekeeper, Rosaline, and her own daughter, Casey Ross. Also, you will find it bizarre that the housekeeper, Rosaline, has the abrupt impulse to leave soon after Dakota Ross returned from rehabilitation. However, both were not questioned. Therefore, if they aren't questioned, how are we to believe that they did or did not commit the crime of stealing the debit card? Dakota Ross is acting as a victim of bilk and theft, and Mr. Banks should not be punished or falsely accused for committing this transgression. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. State, please call your first witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, I would like to call Dakota Ross to the stand.
Please have a seat here on the witness stand. Let me remind you all that each of the witnesses has been previously sworn.
Can you please state your name?
Dakota Ross.
Can you please state the reason for your presence in court today?
I believe that Tyler wrongfully made purchases on my card without knowledge nor consent.
Can you please state how much is missing from your credit card?
$3,200.
And did Tyler Banks ever come to you asking for money? If so, how much?
Yes, he did ask me for $3,000 for a guitar.
When Tyler Banks asked you for this money, did you decline?
Yes.
And can you confirm that from June 17th to August 1st that you were either hospitalized or in rehab?
Yes.
And did Tyler have access to your credit card while you were either hospitalized or in rehab?
Yes.
What caused you to suspect Tyler Banks was the culprit?
The shady figure in the picture has a similar hoodie to the one Tyler always wears.
Your Honor, may I approach the witness with Exhibit B?
Sure.
Can you please identify this exhibit?
ATM photograph.
Now, can you please identify the person in this photo?
Tyler Banks.
Thank you. And is it true that Tyler ended up buying the guitar that he so desired?
Yes.
No further questions, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Defense, any questions for this witness?
Yes, Your Honor. Your Honor, may I approach the witness with what has been marked for identification purposes as Exhibit A?
Sure.
Can you identify what this is?
A police report.
Were you in the police report against Tyler in Exhibit A?
Yes.
What did you say when Casey asked to loan Tyler money for a guitar?
I said no.
Did you ever take action by hiding money?
Yes.
So if you hid the money, can you be 100% sure that Tyler can find the money?
Yes.
Would you ever send Casey the store to purchase items for you using a debit card?
Yes.
Was there anyone else that knew the PIN number to your debit card?
Yes.
In the past, was there any money missing from your account?
No.
When the accident happened, did Casey find you and call the police?
I object, Your Honor. This testimony is irrelevant to the facts of this case.
All right, what's the relevance of the testimony?
When the accident happened, did you find Casey and call the police?
Why is that relevant to this case?
It's relevant because it has to do with the fact of how somebody is like, I'm not sure.
Okay. Well, I'm not sure I see the relevance either, so I'll sustain the objection.
Were there any serious injuries?
Yes.
Was anyone with you at the time?
Yes.
Who?
Rosalie.
When you were released from the hospital, did you go straight to rehab?
Yes.
Would you say that you left your debit card where it may have been accessible to others?
Maybe.
This is a yes or no question.
Yes.
Was there anyone besides Casey that could have had access to your debit card and knew the PIN number?
No.
Who would you say had access to your debit card?
Rosalie.
So Casey couldn't have been the only one to use all that money on your debit card?
No.
Where would you have left your debit card?
I left it in my purse.
Was there any money missing?
Yes.
When you realized you were missing money, did you go speak with the bank?
Yes.
$3,200 was missing from your account, correct?
Yes.
No further questions, Your Honor.
All right, anything else from the state for this witness?
No, Your Honor.
All right, you can step down, thank you. State, next witness or item of evidence?
I'd like to call Morgan Channing to the stand.
Please have a seat in the witness stand, thank you.
What is your name?
My name is Morgan Channing.
What is your occupation?
I work as a bank manager at Palmville National Bank
And how long have you been working at Pointe National Bank?
for close to 10 years now.
And how are you connected to Dakota?
As a bank manager, one of my responsibilities include taking occupation of customer services and transactions.
How are you connected to this case?
I have come to notice that the prosecutor, Dakota Ross, had a strange set of withdrawals in consideration to her bank account.
Is it correct that Dakota Ross's card was declined?
Yes, that's correct.
Or was this before or after you had contacted Dakota?
This was before. I had only looked into this issue when Dakota had informed me her card was declined.
Can you explain how you know this?
Because Dakota was upset when she came to me about the fact that her card transaction did not go through.
Has Dakota had this type of problem before?
No, she has not.
And has she ever experienced late payment?
She has not.
Your Honor, I would like to approach the witness with Exhibit C.
Yes, ma'am?
Can you please identify this piece of evidence?
Yes, these are the bank statements.
And can you please read aloud what strange activity you found on the bank statement from July 1st to July 31st?
Yes. On July 10th, there was a $100 withdrawal from ATM 3. On July 18th, there was a $400 withdrawal from ATM 3. On July 21st, there was a $400 withdrawal from ATM number 4. And on July 30th, there was a $400 withdrawal as well from ATM number 4.
Your Honor, we offer Exhibit C in attendance.
Objection from the defense?
No objections.
All right, so it'll be admitted in evidence as states Exhibit C.
What ATM was this picture taken at?
That was taken from the main branch ATM.
Who did she identify the person as?
Dakota Ross identified the person as Tyler Banks.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Defense, any questions for this witness?
Yes, Your Honor. What is your relation to Miss Ross?
I see her coming to my bank
How often does Miss Ross come in?
frequently in order to make transactions,
Why did you call Miss Ross to come into the bank?
in order to discuss about her debit card fraud.
When you looked at Exhibit B, the ATM photo, did you notice the person using the ATM?
No, all I saw was somebody in some sort of hoodie with something covering their face.
What did Miss Ross say when you showed her Exhibit B?
She identified the person as Tyler Banks.
Have you ever met Tyler Banks?
No, I have not.
Are you 100% sure you've never had any personal contact with Mr. Banks other than at the bank?
Yes, I'm sure.
Do all the ATMs have cameras?
No, only the main branch ATM holds one.
And why did you have access to the surveillance cameras?
Because another one of my responsibilities as a bank manager is order to keep record of these surveillances.
Are you aware of anybody else that had access to the card?
Objection. This witness has no personal knowledge that would enable him to answer this question.
I agree, that objection is sustained.
Did she make you aware that Rosalie was the only other person that had access to the card?
Objection. The witness has no personal knowledge that would enable him to answer this question.
Can you repeat or rephrase the question?
Did she make you aware that Rosalie was the only other person that had access to the card?
So on that objection, I will sustain that objection as well.
Were there numeral withdrawals made?
Yes, out of the 8 total withdrawals, 6 were taken from ATM number 4 and 1 of each from the main branch ATM and ATM number 3.
Did you file a police report?
Yes, I talked to Detective Reese Willingham at the police station about this issue.
Did you provide Detective Willingham with information about the situation?
Yes, I told him everything.
Will you reimburse Ms. Ross with her money?
No, and we do not have legal action to do so until this debit card fraud has been resolved.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you. State, any other questions for this witness? Or may the witness be excused? All right, you may be excused, sir. Thank you. State, next witness or item of evidence?
Your Honor, I would like to call Detective Bruce Willingham to the stand.
Please have a seat here in the witness stand.
Can you state your name for the record?
Yes, my name is Reese Willingham.
And what is your occupation?
I work for the Palmville Police Department.
And where did you receive your education?
I received a degree in criminal justice from Palmdale University in 1996.
In your statement, you said that Casey wasn't exactly forthcoming in answering your questions. Can you explain that for us?
Yes, when I was going through the questions with her, she eventually admitted that she would use the card to buy groceries, and she also stated that she was fairly certain that Tyler knew the PIN.
How did you get involved in this case?
Dakota came to me with a discrepancy in her bank account.
So Tyler easily had access to the card and knew the PIN?
Yes, that's correct.
And in your professional opinion, would you say that in cases you have investigated, the person who has committed the crime is someone related to the family or not related to the family?
Well, in my professional opinion, in cases such as these, it is in fact someone close to the family.
So would Tyler, in your professional opinion, fit this description?
Yes.
Now, if you don't mind us asking, when you interviewed Tyler, did he say anything to you about knowing the PIN?
He said that Casey would give it to him occasionally to buy groceries. He also stated that he would not steal from Dakota Ross even if he didn't like her.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you. Defense, any questions for this witness?
Yes, Your Honor. Why did you get involved in this case?
Well, I received a call from Dakota Ross on August 5th, 2017 regarding an apparent theft from her bank account.
Were there other people besides Tyler Bates at the home while she was at the hospital?
Yes.
Who was around the house when Miss Ross was hospital?
Well, Casey stayed home by herself frequently, and Rosaline and some friends checked in on her. And also Tyler Banks, Casey's best friend, came around very frequently.
Why do you suspect Tyler Bates?
Because the person in the ATM photo was wearing a hoodie similar to the one Casey bought them both.
When you talked to Tyler Bates, what did he say his feelings were about Miss Ross?
He said he didn't particularly like Miss Ross, and he said that she was very grandiloquent and show-offish about her money.
Is it true that earlier you said that Tyler wouldn't steal from Miss Ross?
Yes.
Why would you believe it to only be Tyler Bates if Casey Ross bought the matching hoodies?
Well, because Casey Ross is her daughter and would not steal all of Dakota Ross's money in the 5 weeks Miss Ross was in the hospital. And also, Tyler Banks asked Dakota Ross for money, in which she declined. Afterwards, in which he told Casey, "Don't worry, I will find a way to get the money."
Is there anyone else that could access the same hoodie? Please answer the yes or no.
Yes.
No further questions, John.
Thank you. State, any additional questions for this witness?
No, Your
No,
Honor.
Your Honor.
All right. You may step down. Thank you. State, next witness or item of evidence.
Your Honor, we rest our case.
Thank you. Members of the jury, the state's now rested their case. I'll now see if the defense wants to call any witnesses. Defense?
Yes, Your Honor. I'd like to call Casey Ross to the stand.
Please have a seat during the witness stand.
Can you state your name for the jury?
Yes, my name is Casey Ross.
Why was your mother in the hospital?
She had slipped and fell down the staircase.
What is your relation to Tyler Banks?
He is one of my best friends.
How long have you and Tyler Banks known each other?
I've known him since 3rd grade.
Did anyone else have access to your mother's debit card?
Yes, myself and the housekeeper Rosaline. While my mother was in the hospital, she had used the card to be shopping for the house.
When you used the debit card, what would you use it for?
I would use it to buy things for my mom.
So you knew the PIN number to your mother's debit card?
Yes.
Did you use the debit card to purchase a hoodie?
Yes, I bought a hoodie.
Your Honor, Exhibit B has already been entered into evidence. May I approach the witness?
You may.
Does this look like a hoodie similar to one you purchased?
Yes.
And Exhibit B, who is that in the picture?
I couldn't quite depict who was in the picture.
So are you saying that it could have basically been anyone?
Yes.
Has Rosaline done anything that can create suspicion?
Yes, it's weird that she had the sudden urge to leave right when my mother came back from rehab.
Would Rosaline ever use a debit card?
Yes, she would use it for shopping for the house, and she definitely knew the PIN number to the card.
Is there anything that Tyler has done without you?
Yes, to get
Objection,
money
Your
for
Honor. This question is irrelevant to the facts of this case.
Could you repeat the question again?
Is there anything that Tyler has done without you?
Has done without you? Is that just-
Yeah.
Well, I'm not sure whether that's relevant or not, so I'll have to hear the answer and then we'll decide if it's relevant. So what's the answer to her question?
Yes, to get money for a guitar. He would do jobs all over the place.
I think that that's relevant, so I'll allow the testimony. So the jury can consider that. Go ahead.
Your Honor, may I approach the witness with what has been marked for identification purposes as Exhibit E?
Yes, ma'am?
No objections.
So you're seeking to admit that as Exhibit E?
Yes, Your Honor.
Without objection from the state, it'll be admitted. Is that what you said? No objection to it being admitted?
No objections, Your Honor.
It'll be admitted as Defendant's Exhibit E.
Can you say what this is?
It's a receipt.
Can you please read the highlighted notes in the receipt for the jury?
Yes, notes paid in full cash.
So does this indicate that Tyler used cash to buy the guitar?
Yes, it does.
No further questions, Your Honor.
State, any questions for this witness?
Yes, Your Honor. Are you in any way related to Dakota Ross?
Yes.
Is it true that Tyler also frequently wears hoodies like the one depicted in Exhibit B?
Yes.
And is it true that Tyler Banks is often at your household?
Yes.
And is it true that he regularly accompanies you to the store to make purchases?
Yes.
And is it true that you told Tyler Banks the PIN to Dakota Ross's credit card is the date of your own birth?
Yes.
And is it true that during your questioning with Detective Reese Willingham, you told him that Tyler most likely knew the location of Dakota Ross's credit card?
Yes.
And is it true that Tyler ended up purchasing the guitar that he desired?
Yes, but he told me that he got the money from doing some of the jobs for the neighbors.
Let me ask again, is it true that Tyler ended up purchasing the guitar? Please answer in a yes or no.
Yes.
Did you ever witness Tyler doing any of these jobs that he said he did?
No.
So can you without a doubt confirm that he did do these jobs that he claimed he did?
No.
Can you please state how much money was taken from your mother's credit card?
$3,200.
Now will you please state how much the guitar is worth that Tyler was wanting to buy?
$3,000.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you. Defense, any additional questions for this witness? All right, you can step down. Thank you. Defense, next witness or item of evidence.
Your Honor, I would like to call witness Bailey Cohen to the stand.
Please have a seat in the witness stand. Thank you.
Please state your name for the record.
My name is Billy Cohen.
What is your occupation?
I have been retired for 5 years, but I work at a local bread factory.
What is your relationship with Tyler?
My relationship with Tyler has progressed over the years. After Tyler's family had moved to the neighborhood approximately 20 years ago, he comes to talk to me occasionally.
What does he talk to you about?
He mostly talks about school and friends.
Has Tyler ever mentioned his love for music?
Yes, he mentions his love for music quite often and how much he loves his guitar.
Did Tyler ever ask you for money to buy a guitar?
No, he's never mentioned it, but he has been working for me to earn his own money.
What type of jobs has Tyler done for you to earn money?
Tyler has done many jobs for me around the house, such as mowing my lawn, cleaning my gutters, pulling weeds, and other things regarding lawn work.
Have you ever noticed anything suspicious with Tyler?
Objection. Your Honor, counsel is asking the witness to give an opinion.
Well, I'm not sure. Well, I guess that is an opinion. So for that reason, I'll sustain the objection.
When Tyler has talked to you, did it ever seem like he had when Tyler has talked to you, what did he describe Mrs. Ross as?
Usually he described Mrs. Ross as self-centered.
Have you ever talked to Detective Billingham?
Yes.
What has Detective Billingham talked to you about?
She talked to me about how Tyler was a thief, and she never really mentioned the jobs he's done for me or how much I paid him.
Objection. Your Honor, the witness did not answer the question.
I think she answered the question, so I'll overrule that objection.
Looking at Exhibit E, Tyler has paid in full cash for the guitar. Do you have any idea why he would pay in full cash?
Well, when he was working for me, I would pay him in full cash.
Do you have any first-hand knowledge of any criminal activity Tyler has engaged in?
Not that I know of.
No further questions, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. State.
Thank you, Your Honor. Is it true that you've known Tyler and his family for more than 15 years?
Yes.
And is it true that you cared for Tyler?
Yes.
Did you care for Tyler enough to give him a $3,000 guitar?
Of course I cared for Tyler. I just didn't have that money.
But you cared enough to give him a job.
Yes, I tried to help him as much as I could.
Did Tyler work for you a lot?
He could not always work for me because I would not always be able to pay him.
Is it true that Tyler asked for more jobs over the summer?
Yes.
And did he finish all those jobs?
Not exactly, no.
So what did you do?
I asked other people to do it.
When did Tyler stop working for you?
He never stopped working for me. He just never really finished the jobs he was given.
And what did you think about this?
I thought it was a little bit strange.
Why did you think it was strange?
Because since he always would ask for it, I figured that he would want to finish it.
Why did Tyler want the work so bad?
He was trying to save money for his guitar.
Did you talk to Tyler in July?
Yes.
And what did you guys talk about?
He mentioned his best friend's mother got a serious injury at home.
Anything else?
Yes, he mentioned Dakota was self-centered.
Would you say, based on the statement, that Tyler was talking ill about Dakota?
Yes.
Would you say that Tyler did not like Dakota?
Yes.
Was Tyler worked up when talking to you?
I wouldn't say worked up, but I would definitely say upset.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you. Defense, any other questions for this witness?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any other questions for this witness?
No, Your Honor.
All right, you can be excused. Thank you. Next witness or item of evidence from the defense?
Yes, Your Honor. Your Honor, I'd like to call Tyler Banks to the stand.
Please have a seat there at the witness stand. Go ahead.
Please state your name.
My name is Tyler Banks.
Where were you when Dakota Ross was injured and hospitalized?
I spent time with Casey Ross.
What certain things did you do when Mrs. Ross was hospitalized?
I went out at night with Casey almost every night.
What did you do the day she was hospitalized?
I was there for Casey when needed, when she needed me.
Did you have a good relationship with Mrs. Ross?
Yes, an occasional high and by.
Did you engage in any type of illegal activity when Mrs. Ross was hospitalized?
No,
Did you know what Rosalie was doing when you and Casey were out?
I had no idea what she was doing.
Did you know that $3,200 is missing from Dakota Ross's bank account?
I was unaware.
Did you feel any temptation to steal money from Dakota Ross's bank account?
No,
Would there be a reason that you want to revenge on Mrs. Ross?
no,
Were you glad that Mrs. Ross was hospitalized?
no,
Did you have any affiliation with Rosalie?
no.
Did you have a family relationship with Rosalie?
Yes,
Did you know anyone that may have disliked Miss Ross?
no.
Did you recognize the suspect in Exhibit B? Your Honor, may I approach the witness?
Sure.
I do not recognize the suspect.
Do you know any of Dakota Ross's credit card information?
I do not know any of the pin numbers.
Is it true that you were doing odd jobs in the neighborhood, correct?
Yes,
No further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you. State, any questions for this witness?
Yes, Your Honor. Is it true that Casey has told you the PIN to the credit card before?
yes. I just do not remember the pin numbers.
Is it true that Casey has told you the PIN to the credit card before?
Yes,
Is it true that the PIN number is Casey's date of birth?
yes,
Is it true that Casey and you have a very close relationship?
yes.
Would you consider the birthday of your best friend worth remembering?
It's not like that though.
In the case, how would you forget the PIN number on the debit card?
I forgot about it.
And is it true that Casey sometimes would give you the card to buy groceries?
Yes,
So then it would be unlikely to forget the PIN if you had used it recently.
I just forgot the pin number.
Yes or no?
Yes,
Is it true that you suggested that Dakota could loan you money to pay for the guitar?
yes. It was just a joke though.
However, Dakota Ross said she declined when you asked for money.
It must have been a mistake.
Is it true that you did not finish all the jobs for the neighbors over the summer?
Yes,
If this is true, how were you able to pay for the guitar?
I must have had more money than I thought.
Your Honor, we offer Exhibit D into evidence.
No objection.
So without objection, that'll be admitted as State's Exhibit D.
The majority of the withdrawals was made by the ATM floor. Is this true that this ATM is closest to your home?
Yes,
No further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you. Defense, any other questions for this witness?
No, Your Honor.
All right, return to your seat, thank you. Next witness or item of evidence from the defense?
We rest our case, Your Honor.
Thank you. Members of the jury, now that both sides have rested their case, I'll give each side an opportunity to make a closing argument.
thank you, Your Honor.
All right, the state will go first, and whenever you're ready, ma'am.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, thank you for your time and effort devoted to this case. We would like to ask you to take all evidence into account as it proves that Tyler Banks is solely guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. Based on the map in Exhibit D, Tyler Banks was in close proximity to ATM 4, which is the same ATM that was used to withdraw most of the money stolen from Dakota Ross. The evidence illuminates motive for Tyler as he desired holding possession of a guitar worth $3,000. Looking at the stolen credit card statement, the amount taken, $3,200, was similar to the worth of the guitar. Not to mention, Tyler had full access to the card and its information. He knew the pin was Casey Ross, Dakota Ross's daughter's birthday. Not to mention, he would accompany Casey to the store where she would use the card to make purchases. And occasionally, Tyler would use the same credit card to do groceries for himself. Although in the defense questioning, Tyler had said that he did not know any of Dakota Ross's card information. I would also like to bring to your attention that Tyler is known to wearing hoodies. And in Exhibit B, the ATM photo, a male wearing a black hoodie was seen taking money from ATM 4. Casey Ross stated that Tyler earned the name Hoods because he wore such hoodies such as the one in the ATM photo. She had also stated that the hoodie was the same type that Tyler would occasionally wear. People of the jury, please take into consideration everything that was stated and do what you believe is right and just. All in all, this proves that Tyler is guilty. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Defense?
Dear ladies and gentlemen of the jury, it has been brought to our attention that Tyler Banks is being accused of doing the crime he did not commit. If we take into consideration of the information that has been used during trial, you will see that Tyler Banks is not the only person to use the card. The opposing side stated that Tyler Banks had access to the debit card. Have you taken an opportunity to look at everyone else who had access to the card? For example, the housekeeper. She had to leave suddenly for some unknown business when Miss Ross had come back from rehab. However, she had not been included in this case at all. Must I also bring Casey Ross into this? She said herself that she would use the card to buy things such as hoodies and things for her mother. This shows, for this to happen, she would have to know the PIN number as well. This shows that Miss Ross had a closed mind during this whole thing. She had mentioned before that she didn't particularly like Tyler in the first place. Could this all be a setup made by Miss Ross to make Tyler seem like there was a bad influence on Casey? If she would succeed, Casey wouldn't trust Tyler anymore. Meaning that one more thing that Mrs. Ross doesn't like would be taken care of. People of the jury, please take what I've said into consideration. Mr. Banks is not guilty and he's being falsely accused.
Thank you.
If I had been permitted to, Your Honor, if I had been permitted to object during the closing argument, I would have objected to the opposing team's statement that could this have been made up by Mrs. Ross to make Tyler seem like a bad influence? This is speculation.
I'll overrule the objection. Members of the jury, the closing argument is intended for the lawyers to explain to you what they believe the evidence showed. It's your decision at the end of all of this to decide what the evidence did show and what the lawyers say is not evidence. Anything else we need to cover?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you.
My name is Ann Lolkin, 7th grade civics teacher and mock trial advisor. This is our mock trial entry for Pointe Educational Research School in Port St. Lucie, Florida. Thank you for your time.